Hello and welcome to Ticket to Life. And this is Henry. And I hope everyone is doing fine. And I hope a lot of you are getting excited about Easter. I love Easter, love Christmas. I just love holidays, I think, pretty much in general. Um, didn't decorate as much this year. I was feeling a little out of it. But guess what? I do have Easter bunnies throughout the house, but of course, not real ones. Um, I look back at the podcast I've had the past few weeks, and people thought, "Oh, how depressing is this woman?" Um, March 5th, it was the good, the bad, and the kid. And then the 12th, it was Your Story Matters. Now, that was not depressing, but for some, it could be when they start thinking about their lives. But you're part of my life. So I just want to let you know, I think that's amazing. And then last week, it was healing the broken, and it was about people who feel broken and how they're able to heal and stuff. So I thought, oh, so this should be a depressing podcast for the past few weeks, but it's not. It's all about fun and life, and it is about life in general. But I thought I would talk about something that I do enjoy, and that's Easter. And I'm pretty sure a lot of you do celebrate Easter. Um, I just love it. But before I get onto that, I just want to let you know about some really great news that I cannot believe I keep forgetting to share. But I am going to be a grandmother again, Alita. I'm so excited. My son and my daughter-in-law are having another baby. So the exciting thing is that we just found out it's a girl. So yes, I'm going to have 3 granddaughters and 1 grandson. Who could ask for anything more? I am so excited. I cannot wait. Um, we are thrilled. Being a grandparent is like the BEST best. You get to relive being a good parent, except you're a grandparent. And I know some parents say, "Oh, then you send them home. They don't have to say, hey, our grandkids have spent the night with us." Several times. We love having them. They're such a joy. And honestly, you know what? You get to make up for things you wish, oh, really I would have done this with my kids. So now you get that opportunity. So we are so excited and we cannot wait. But what I wanted to talk about today was something I think is quite fun, and that is Easter. And not everyone celebrates Easter. Um, but I've started looking into traditions of people around the world and what they do, and it's like interesting. It really is interesting how different parts of the world celebrate such a beautiful time. I'm going to just give you a heads up. Some of them are different, and that's okay because we're all different. But for me, with looking them up, I thought, oh, this is interesting. So I want to share these with you. So when you're with family and having Easter dinner, Easter lunch, Easter egg hunt, so you can say you're not going to believe how they celebrate Easter in Finland. Yes, Finland. And I'm sure you'll say, "Oh, you've been listening to Ticket to Life again, haven't you?" And she's been giving you some interesting facts about life. Of course, here in the U.S., we believe, uh, well, why not believe? Easter Bunny stops by, doesn't knock on your door, just leaves you a basket of fun stuff. But I'm going to start off with some of the fun things that I learned, and I think it is interesting. So in Sweden, um, children dress up as Easter witches. Yes, you heard it right. Easter witches. An Easter witch is a pashkaring. I'm probably butchering that up, but it's a beloved tradition where the kids dress up like Monday, Thursday in old clothes. And they receive candy. They carry a broomstick and collect candy. I guess eggs. I'm not sure, but I thought that's fun. So I'm not sure if they celebrate Halloween, but if they do, they get use the same costume, like an Easter witch. You could be a Halloween witch. But that's fun. I thought it's interesting, right? I mean, I'm not knocking it. The pictures they have on their cute little girls with scarves and stuff. Now, the next thing in Greece, but I know that they have this here in the States too, but in Greece, it's a traditional eat a roast a lamb. Have you ever had lamb? The dish symbolizes Jesus Christ sacrificed for the sins of the world. I've had lamb once in New York, and when I had it, it was good, but I kept thinking of just the cute little white lamb, so I haven't had it since. No, I'm not vegan. So in Poland, this is fun. They do water fights. Of course, their weather must be really a lot warmer than it is here. Sometimes for our Easters, sometimes they're warm in Texas, sometimes they're cold. But so they douse each other with water and playful traditions, and it supposedly brings good luck and fertility. So if you're wanting to do something fun, you can do that for Easter. Australia and the US and the UK and a few other countries too. I heard of I think New Zealand. Cross buns are popular Easter treat. I don't make them. I think I've had them once or twice at my mother-in-law's maybe. And I thought that's fun. If you think about it, that little nursery rhyme, hot cross buns, hot. But anyway, so the other thing is, and where was this at? In France. They feed like 2,000 people and they make a huge, huge omelet. It's in southwest of France, and I thought that's amazing. That would be kind of fun. So looks if you have time, look at some of these pictures. Look up France and look for Easter omelet, and they've got this huge pan. I thought, where do you store that? Because we have trouble storing some of our pans. But now this one is probably the most interesting one for me, and I'm sure it doesn't explain it. I didn't dig deep enough, but it's interesting. So, Norwegians embrace crime novels and detective stories during Easter, turning it to a crime novel holiday. So people read mysteries or watch crime dramas. Heck, I guess I'd be celebrating Easter weekly because we are always watching Dateline or 2020. And of course, here, this was interesting too for me because I did not know this, but in Australia, they really don't promote the chocolate bunnies anymore. They promote bilbies. Um, and I thought that's awesome, contributing to wildlife conservation. So I thought that was cute. Of course, I think of when you see pictures, I just think of mice. So I'm not. Anyway, I thought that was kind of fun. So, in Spain, they do a big march for Holy Week and like a parade kind of thing. But I just thought these were so interesting. Here's one in Hungary. The custom is believed for good fortune and beauty. It's tradition for a man to sprinkle a woman with either perfume or cologne. Just make sure she's not allergic, folks. And one more. Well, let me see which was the more interesting. Well, of course, the U.S. and the U.K. I thought, well, this is kind of fun. Rolling Easter eggs down the hill. I have never done that in my entire life because that just does not even sound fun to me. That'd be hurting my back. I know they do it at the White House. I guess he does. I don't know. But flying kites is in Bermuda. Just so many different ways because I think most people think about hiding the Easter eggs and finding them and the bunny dropped them off. But we forget the real reason we celebrate Easter. The Catholics, that is most important thing for us is Jesus Christ's resurrection. And that's the whole story about the egg. I'll share that in a minute. And it's Christ's resurrection, how victory over sin and promises us eternal life. Who could ask for anything more? I mean, that's awesome. Not being frozen and then hoping that someday someone will unfreeze you and you'll be alive. I don't think that's how that works, believing in Jesus Christ. I know, and many of you might say, although in the movie Austin Powers, he was frozen and thawed and lived. I am not comparing Jesus to Austin Powers. I just thought that was the first thing that came in my head. And some of you know, I know that I have ADHD and my mind is always going from one thing to the other. Sorry, Jesus, did not mean to offend you. Fortunately, Jesus knows how my mind works and he's always having to forgive me for something. Phew. I'm just so thankful he is forgiving. Okay, I'll carry on from here. Now, the Easter Bunny and the eggs are symbols of rebirth and excuse me, I'm sorry. Timer. Secular symbols of rebirth and fertility. Now, this started a long time ago, rooted in German folklore and pagan spring festivals. Now, I think it's funny that that started there as pagan spring festivals rather than the Bible, but the tradition of an egg laying, um, bringing colors and eggs to children was brought to America by German immigrants in the 1700s. So there's a little bit of history. So I thought that was pretty interesting. And I love the fact that we do think, they came from a different countries here because, the U.S. is made of immigrants. We would not be a nation without all of those who came over. Um, but anyway, Easter eggs have are the symbols of new life and fertility, and I've always known that, and I always thought that was that. Well, of course, I didn't know it as a small child. You were just excited to get chocolate eggs, but Jesus' resurrection is compared to the tomb, and the eggs were restricted during Lent at one time. But anyway, and of course the bunny came from Germany also. But anyway, I just thought that was kind of fun how things come, so many different traditions come from other countries. And I don't think a lot of us really probably think about that, but it is interesting, at least it is to me. And I thought I would share some of those with you. And just to let you know that Christmas traditions, many like I said, have come from other countries, like the tree with Kris Kringle came from Germany. St. Nicholas originated in the Netherlands. That I did know. Did not have to look that one up. But Halloween came from Celtic festivals in Ireland and Scotland. Bet you didn't know that. Everybody thought, oh, we just love dressing in green and go to the parades. But I thought that was pretty cool. But of course, St. Patrick's Day started through the Irish Catholic holy day and became widespread after that. But Cinco de Mayo, arriba, Mexican culture. Yes, particularly here in the U.S. And people are like, what are we celebrating 5th of May? Oh, margaritas. No, that is not. It is it is a Mexican Independence Day. But New Year's Eve, the ball drop was also, well, those Germans kept us busy bringing all that tradition over here. I didn't know that. German-born immigrant Adolf Ochs, the famous Times Square ball drop was created by him. And Oktoberfest, Germany, celebrate the lunar year. New Year is the Chinese, Vietnamese, Korean. So, just love this. And for those of you in Vietnam have heard my podcast, thank you. And China, thank you. And Korea, thank you. Not sure North or South Korea, but I know I have some listeners in Korea. Thank you for listening. But anyway, Thanksgiving, I'm sure we've done something wacky here in the U.S. and it's in some country, and they're like, why did we pick this up from the U.S.? Well, I just Googled that for all of you who are wondering if we did anything for other countries. But several holidays originated here in the U.S. and Thanksgiving, late November, Independence Day, 4th of July, Juneteenth, June 19th, Memorial Day, late May, Labor Day, President's Day, Groundhog Day. I think there needs to be a Henry Day or Ticket to Life Day. I'm going to look into that and see what I can do to make that happen for all of us. But anyway, I just thought I would kind of talk about something different other than depressing. But I hope all of you have some good plans if you celebrate Easter. We do have some friends who just went overseas, and we're praying that they get there safely because they have family in Syria, and I hope that they're going to be there for a few weeks, and just praying that they get there safely and come home safely because, yeah, right now is not a good time to be in that area. But so just yeah, as I have said in the past, I am praying for you. I pray for my listeners and like, but you don't know me. I know I don't know you, but we all need prayer. We all need prayer for something. It could be something minor, but I want you to know that I am praying for you. I pray for anyone who asks for prayer. I'm on it. So anyway, I just wanted to do kind of a fun and silly podcast because I felt like the past few have been depressing. Not really depressing. Well, you know what? It is life. Things I do talk about in life, and some of the things in life are depressing. So now it was time to talk about something happy, like the resurrection of Christ, because he is the man. And I guess it is time to say ta-ta for now. Just to let you know, there will not be a podcast next week because I will be out of town. But when I return, guess what? It will be the beginning of year 5, which is crazy. A year 5 of Ticket to Life. Yes, you have kept me alive. Thank you so much for everyone who listens to Ticket to Life, and I really appreciate it. I hope you have a very, very happy Easter. Don't eat too many chocolate eggs. I'll have to make sure to tell my husband, or so he can relay to the Easter bunny, that not to forget my chocolate-covered malt balls. They're shaped like, they're so good, so good, and yet so bad for you. But anyway, all good things are bad for you most of the time when it comes to food. But anyway, thank you again so much for listening. I hope I didn't bore you to death. But look, you just learned some fun facts about Easter that you can share and do. I have Easter trivia for everyone when you're with your friends and family. I hope you have a blessed Easter, and please, please, please go find your blessings because you are one of mine. And thank you again to all my listeners. Thank you for being there for me, and thank you for your support. And don't forget, if you would like to share a story, as many have, you can send me an email at tickettolife022@gmail.com. I will not use your real name unless you want me to, but just send me an email, and we could even do a phone interview if you'd like. Some people like to be on the radio. Well, I'm no longer on the radio, but like to be on the podcast. And this podcast is throughout the world. So anyone, if you're running from the law, you probably need to disguise your voice. Okay, I'm just rambling now. I will talk to you in a couple of weeks. Have a very, very happy Easter. And remember, Jesus is the way to complete your life. In anything you are going through, you're not alone. So until then, thank you again for listening.